Everyone's like, oh, look, here comes Pensy Joe bringing the Pennsylvania stuff because really test LED in the headlight, but we'll take this quite well by all. Regular combination, she's all that Sheet at 10. Proceed to 15. Hey everybody, it's Pensy Joe back again for another video, and today we're doing some more Tweety stuff. I got this club locomotive, ET&WNC number 5. I also got the kit that came with it from a club member, so I can start doing the conversion process and start getting things moving along with Tweetyfying the Blackstone C19s. So I know some people might say that's sacrilegious, but you do what you can do to get what you want, you know. So as you can see, the cab came to me not attached, and they were just doing test fittings to make sure that the front extended smoke box fits in place, as well as the cab, some of the other details as well. And in the next shot, we're gonna show like what's in the box that came with it. So here's all the stuff that it came with. There's the old cab that said ET&WNC, the original Blackstone cab. There's the air tank. I'm going to try and reuse the front piece on that as well later on in the video. And here's this, the new cab painted green on the interior. And then I painted black, and I had to do some touch-up painting on the cab. Make sure everything looks good. But yeah, that cab interior green really does look good. Especially if you do like a flash photo and you look at the photo and you can see the interior. And I had to fix the cab because I guess it was cracked originally, and that's what that photo shows, different from the one before that it got glued in place. And here's the smoke box being painted. I always paint the interior of the headlight white and then paint the outside black. And I'm going to do a couple of touch-up paints over time, especially when I do the color of the boiler. And here's the boiler painted with the gunmetal gray I got from Tamiya. It actually makes it look more gunmetal. It looks better than the stock gunmetal gray in my opinion, but I needed it so that when I paint the smoke box gunmetal gray, it matches really well with the original smoke box length. And there's that LED board right there that's going to go up into the headlight. Here we are doing some more touch-up paint for the cab, making sure, you know, that corner piece, and that's on the right side viewing, it has been now painted green on the interior. Here we go with the new smoke box, the extended part, painted with gunmetal gray, and same process. It's a one at a time thing. I'm gonna have to do some touch-up paint on the base of that headlight. As you can see, there's some gunmetal gray on it. So in later photos, you'll see that it looks a lot better. It almost looks like it's a separate piece at times. And then I'm going to paint that number plates on the front of the smoke box as well, and do it a couple times. Here's the here's the famous red door frames and window frames. I tried using the Tamiya paint, and it just didn't give me a bright enough red. I don't think it was because I only did one coat. I did try a couple more coats, but it wasn't a bright enough red. So I went back with the Testros paint, and which actually worked really well. Here we are painting the. It always catches me. It's the number plate on the front. I painted it gold with the Testros, and I messed up the Testros red when I was doing the red part in the center for the number plate, but I went back and fixed it later, and here I am pretty much fitting everything back on with the smoke box first. See, now it looks extended. Yeah, it has a little that line going around it, but It's not a huge deal, honestly, especially once everything's back together. And here we go. Here's the touch-up paint done with the black and the black Tamiya flat black, and then I did the Testros red, and it just looks so much better. And yeah, I really love how this cab for number 5 turned out. And this is the wood cab. It's not the steel cab like my number 13 has. Eventually, you're gonna have to do a future video where we have the decals on them and coal loads. Here's just the smokestack, painted gunmetal gray. It's not the old one. It's the new one, so it's got that more like a tweetsy shape on the smokestack. Here we are trying to repair the red on the front. And if later on when you see 13 and 5 together, it looks a lot better. And I did some more touch-up paint on the headlight housing. As you can see, the black is more, rounded and whatnot. And here's that famous Tweetsy red lip on the top of the smokestack. That's what all these Tweetsy engines I'm doing that are ET&WNC 280s. They're all going to look like this, as you see now. Here's the cab and the smokestack attached to the locomotive, and it looks so good. Everything looks so good once it starts coming together. And the tender's gonna, the tender unfortunately had like some sort of warpage to it. I was talking with a couple of the museum people about ordering a new 3D printed one. And here's what I tried, something different this time. I milled 2 holes and reused the stanchions from the original C19's front smoke box plate or door or whatever. And I reused those, and I created my own wire. I used my own wire to make a curve, and unfortunately it looks more like arched than completely circular, but I went back with it later with a special like jig that I did not create, but I kind of improvised on. Here's that tender. It is warped in the front, and the screws won't bite down on it. Started painting it black. You can barely see it in this photo, but there's like a gap in the front on the left. But here he is with the light. I did a flash, and now you can see that green interior on the cab. It looks so good. This is what it would look like together when completed. I'm actually happy how number 5 turned out. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like when I got it, it doesn't have a dynamo, even though it has a modern headlight. It's kind of funky. And here we are looking closer at that gap. It's terrible. So I'm gonna hold off on putting grab irons on this tender shell and probably reuse it somewhere on the museum layout as like a junk, like a junk that was thrown to the side or something like that. And our engine was originally weathered, and I'm not sure why the paint was not going well with this one. But I did some more coatings, and it started looking better. Here's putting that annoying air tank on the bottom, gluing that on. I told the designer of the Tweetsy conversion kit to to maybe make a hole that goes all the way through and a plate on the top that goes across with the supports so I can screw it on. And here's some grab irons I started adding for mine. I brought number 13 back. Here's the other side. I did my own grab irons. They were not the most perfect, but I did what I could, and I did what I think a pretty good job once I had to paint it and all that stuff. In this photo right here, you can barely see them, but here's number 13 on the left side and number 5 on the right side. There's a few differences. I did a different method for number 13 because number 13's stanchions for the front of the original C19 broke. One of them broke, so I only used one, and I drilled 3 holes. And the drill bits I used for the grab irons and for the stanchions, the stanchion to be plugged in, I used a number 68 and I used a number 78 drill bit to do all this work for the grab irons and for the stanchion mounting holes. And once you use the number 68 for the stanchions that you reuse the stanchions for, it gives it a snug fit, so you don't really have to really glue much. on it, or used as much plastic cement, and I used a 78 to make a 3-piece connecting front on that. So it was pretty cool. And here's the jig I used to make a more perfect curve for mine. I used a BLI smoke unit. I used the brown part, the brown round part, to as a jig. So I guess there's one good purpose to use a BLI smoke unit for other projects. And here's this gondola that I received as well. It's doing a piece of rolling stock was something new for me to do all that stuff. Uh, Again, I got a whole bunch of drill bits from Walthers, varying like 20, 30 different sizes. And yeah, I needed a new touch of paint after I got all these grab irons in and the step ladder or step rungs on each corner. Here's the other side, and you can see it really definitely needs a good new coat of black paint. And these are a pain in the butt right here. I forgot what they're properly called, or support bars or whatever. I hated them. I tried using a bendy wire at first, and it is a pain in the butt. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna drill. I'm gonna drill 8 holes with the pin vise and do a 3-piece, um, whatever, on each holder, and I use some glue to hold them in place. Yeah, I'm just gonna let somebody else do these. I'll do everything else, but these are a pain in the butt. I hate them. I know people are like, yeah, you just gotta be patient. Look, I am patient, but there were swear words flying at times, you know. So I did some soldering. I soldered them as 3 pieces, and they look okay. I mean, they're not perfect, but it was the method that I chose to do this. So I got a whole bunch of resistors that I can use that are already pre-cut, but I'd actually like to find gauge wire like this. Just wire, not from the resistors, hopefully at some point. So now that's finished. I got the trucks mounted back on and painted all the copper grab irons and foot irons black. So now everything's getting there. And there's same with those support bars or whatever. They're painted black. And I did a coat of paint on the trucks as well. Really, really cool stuff. I was really happy how this was turning out in the end. And then I did some brown, like brown rust color, paint on the springing for those trucks. And unfortunately, the guy who gave me the kit that did not have coupler boxes and KD couplers or the wheel sets, so I brought that back in. And I just told him, like, all you need is just whatever. And here's the next car you saw in the background earlier, the box car. Put all the grab irons in this evening, and put in the step ladder, step rungs in as well. Made sure they're all glued with plastic cement and all that stuff. I'm going to start snipping stuff once it's all dry tomorrow. I'm going to give it a nice coat of brown paint. And unfortunately, there's no frame. I only got the shell. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just do all the other stuff. And then paint it and then call it a day. And whoever wants to find the frame and get the trucks for it and the couplers and all the other fun stuff, they'll be able to finish. So anyways, guys, that's all I got to share for right now in terms of projects. It's just side stuff for Tweetsy and all that fun stuff. And Tweets is so much fun, by the way. It's such a fun little thing that we have at the museum, and something I wanted to get into and have fun with and support. And by the way, there's gonna be a couple fun mini projects. There's gonna be more fun mini projects going along. I'm gonna do all videos on like all locomotives. I'm gonna do conversion kits for, and I'm gonna do something else with something with a 460 or something like that in the future. I'll have to see. I'll have to see how much needs to be done, but yeah. Anyways, this is Pensy Joe signing out, and I'll see you guys down the line in future videos and for more running sessions. Bye now.
To the hill and by the shore, hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. Now here's to Daddy Claxton, may his name forever stand, and may he be remembered in the courts throughout the land. When his earthly race is over, let the curtains round him fall. We'll carry him home to victory on the Wabash Cannonball. Oh, listen to the jingle, the rumble, and the roar, as she glides along the woodland to the hill and by the shore. Hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball.